Hi, so this is going to be a demo on assignment 3.6, the control arm. So I already have a screenshot of that assignment over here in my drawing space, and I'm going to go ahead and start drawing this out. So I'll start with this top view here. Okay, so I have a circle with a diameter of 1.1, and I'll do space to repeat that. And then this one has a diameter of 1.73. And make sure you're using diameter when you do this. Okay, and then I'm going to draw the smaller one in here first initially, and then I'm going to move it over. So this one has a diameter of 0.55. And now I will move that to 0.56 over and create the other circle on the side. So 0.94. Okay. Then I'm going to take a polyline and I will connect the quadrants. Actually, if I look at this, it's not the quadrant it's connected to, it is a tangent line. So let me turn off quadrant and turn on tangent and try that again. So notice that when I clicked over here, it kind of made this line not tangent anymore. So I had to take it away and then I'm going to bring it back and make sure that it is tangent. There we go. Now I'll do the same thing for this side. So now I'm going to pull this in right there. Here we go. All right, and then I'm going to mirror that about this. So I'm going to turn quadrant back on so that way I can do MI to mirror it. Okay. And now I'll go throw on some projection lines to create the front view. So I'll go ahead and put it on all the edges first. So I'm just copying it over. And I see that there's some lines here, and that actually ends at where the end point of this line is. So I will put it there. The square is the end point, so I'm going to put out each end point. So not the quadrant, but the end point right there. Okay. So I'll go to nearest and select here, and then I'm going to turn off nearest. Okay, so 1 unit. And then that's going to go over. So it has this cylinder shape. It's just going to go over to this line. I'm just trying to have me snap there. So actually, let me turn Is intersection on? Yes, it is. And let me also turn on perpendicular. So right there. And let's see, this is 0.5, so this one also must be 0.5. 0.5. Then I'll escape that. Hover over this one. Insert there. Then this one goes to the end of this cylinder. I'll escape that one. And this one actually goes to this end point here. And then the overall height is 1.45. I'll just go ahead and draw it from here for now. So 1.45, and then I can trim away excess if I need to, which I will need to. I'll come here. I'll explode this and I'll offset it. 0.47 down. And of course, there's a bunch of different ways to do this. You could have copied it. You could have projected another line. So many different ways to do the same thing, as I always say. Okay, and then this one is going to extend all the way over here. Then go up one. All right, so that looks pretty good. And I do want to create some hidden lines. Let me turn off tangent for now. And I'm snapping these construction lines to the quadrants. So L for line, select and escape. And take all of these and delete them. And I'm going to add a center line between here. Let me put that on the right layer. I'm going to go to center, annotate, center line. Spacebar to continue that or to repeat that command. All right, and then now I have to, because this side of the cylinder is actually hidden under the surface, so I have to come here and then I'll change this to hidden. And let's see, how do I want to do this? I can do start end radius. Oh, but I know the diameter, but that should be okay. So I can do start here, end here, and then the radius is It's going to be 5 point, oh no, that's not what it is. It's actually 1.73 divided by 2. So 1.73 divided by 2. So 0.865. And it was turning the other way, so let me try from top to bottom. So 0.865. All right, and then now I'm going to select both of these, and then I'm going to hold down Shift and then select right there because, actually, how do I want to do this? Because I need to trim this line, the one underneath. So actually, I'll go ahead and move this for now. And I'll move it back. There we go. And then I have one more to do over here. So I will trim it now so I don't have to move things around like I just did. And I'll do the same arc from this endpoint to that one and from the bottom to the top. And then the radius is 0.94 divided by 2. So 0.47. Oh, that can't be right. 0.94. That's right. So let's try again. So from this endpoint here and that's not quite working. That doesn't look right. It could be that the endpoints are not quite right, but this is what I'm going to do. So I'll mirror this back. No, actually, let me undo that. I'm just going to draw a circle on top. So I'm going to say 0.94 is the diameter. And then I only want this piece. I don't really need the other side. So maybe I'll do the breakout point. I wonder if it's going to do both. So break the selected object. I need to specify the first point here and here. Okay, that works. And I'm going to put in a center line. Or first I'll put in a center mark. And then now I'll put in a center line. And actually I'm just going to do this center line because these are connecting the center marks by placing a line here. And I'll move them to the center layer. Actually, if I would have went to do the center line here, I wonder how that would look. That looks better, so I will do it that way. And then I'm just going to copy this over. Okay. Just double checking. All right. And so now I'm going to add some dimensions. Dimension layer. And I'm going to modify so that way I have two decimal places. Now close that. And then once again, make sure your dimensions are aligned. And this one I want to be a diameter. And I can get rid of the center marks for these so that way I'm not interfering with the center lines. So I'll grab both of these and go to center mark and change it to none. Okay. I'm just going to continue dimensioning through here. All right, and I'm just going to take a look to see how that looks in my viewport for now. All right. Looks pretty good. I'm going to actually, yeah, that looks okay. I'm just gonna arrange these a little bit better. All right, and then now I just want to create this isometric view, and this isometric view is pretty tricky to make, but we are going to attempt to make it now. Okay, and so I'm going to start with the isocircles. And I'll start with the center one. So I'll start here and then do D for diameter and then 1.73 is the outer one. And actually, that's going to change the layer, but it might be a little bit easier to see, so I'll keep it there for now. And then I'll create another isocircle in the middle of that. And this one, the diameter is 1.1. All right, and then I'll take this and I'm going to copy it and drag it up. So 1.45 units. And then add my lines. Okay, so now I just created this center cylinder. And from that, I need to project a line in this direction and 2.56 away. So 2.56. Oops, I accidentally did 1.56. 2.56. And I'll create my ISO circle right here. D, and then 0.94. D, 0.55. All right, and then this one is actually, so I just created it from this top plane over. So I'm going to copy that, bring it down 0.47, and then copy those and bring it up 1 unit. Okay. I'm going to move these to the construction layer. And I'll add some lines. Just going to move this over a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to copy this bottom one over and drag it over 2.56 as well. So I'm going to copy. All right, so I created this one, and then I have another one that is, so the top surface of it is 0.5 away, so 0.5. I'll move this to the construction layer. And then this is 1 unit down. Okay, so now I have these. Let me put a line here. This direction, 2.56. Okay, yeah, and that's in the middle of the gray circle. So now I have some cylinders and I need to connect them together, and it can be pretty tricky. Let me try that again. So it can be difficult, just do your best. And actually, I'm realizing now that I didn't So I need to delete these because I didn't adjust the size. So delete these ones, and I'm actually going to grab this. I'll just grab this one, the construction line, and I'm going to copy this one. So from here, oops, and put it over there. Okay, so my apologies for that. I'll take this now and I will bring it at 0.5, just like here, and then put it back on the dimension layer. I'm going to move these all to the geometry layer at the end, and then copy that, and then bring that down 1 unit. And I will connect those with a line. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to have tangent on. I'm going to turn quadrant off. And I'm going to connect these edges. So if I look here, it's the top one that goes to the cylinder, and then I'm going to go down 0.47 and then connect there as well. And sorry, let me escape that. I'm going to start over here actually. So I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to go up 0.47, and then I'm going to find the tangent line there. So I want to find the end point. So if I hold down Shift and then right click, I can specify what it is I'm looking for. So I was looking for the end point because it kept trying to give me perpendicular. I did it that way. Then I'll go down 0.47. And now I'm going to find the tangent point here. Okay, so notice I had to, this one here wasn't quite right. So now 0.47. I'm just trying to kind of play with this to find where I have to go. Okay. So I'm going to delete this one. And I have a couple extra lines here as well. And I will trim this one here. Okay. So a little bit tricky. You kind of have to play with it to find that tangent line. And I'm going to move these ones to the construction layer. And maybe I'll turn the grid off just to try to make it a little bit easier to see. Okay, and then so now we're going to connect here at the top. And it might even be easier to see if maybe if I copy this whole circle down actually and do 0.47 down. Yeah, there we go. And then this one's already 0.47 units up. So now I just need to create this line and I need to kind of adjust it. All right, so now I have my lines this way, and I don't want to erase anything yet. I'm going to build the whole thing and then I'll do my trimming. All right, so I'll create another construction circle, 0.5 units up. I already have this one that's 0.5 units down. I could delete this middle one actually. Point 5. Then I'll put that on the construction layer. And I'm going to attempt to make this one right here. So I'll go ahead and, so I have to look one more time. Okay. So actually this is supposed to go to the top edge. Like so. Okay. I'll do shift, right click. I'm looking for tangent. Might not be able to find it very easily. There we go. And then I'll do polyline. Go to this endpoint. Once again, hold down shift, select endpoint. There we go. And then 0.5. All right. We are getting there. So I just selected away from the circle and then now I'm going to place it on here. I'm going to find that tangent spot. Shift, tangent. Okay, so it was in the right spot. Shift and then tangent. I think that one was too. Okay. And then I'm going to freeze the construction layers. I'm going to grab all this, put it on the geometry layer, and then I'm going to copy it because once it took me a while to make this, and once I trim it, I can't really get it back very easily. So this way I have a copy over here in case I mess up. So I'll unfreeze the construction layer. And I'm realizing now that I didn't bring my line work with me. So let me undo that for a second. Okay. So now I will copy it. Oops. and I will trim. Okay, that looks that looks pretty good. And there's a couple lines in here I can add for the center lines. Um, I could go ahead and add those. And so here we go. Let's see. Enter. I'll rotate this here. I'm going to say copy. And then I'll move these to right there. And I'll copy these and put them over here. Okay, and so I need to go ahead and put that isometric view into my viewport. So I'm going to create two viewports. I'm just going to adjust this slightly first. I could turn off ISO draft and bring this up just so I can bring this down a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Layout tab and I'm going to do rectangular, and I'm just going to draw another viewport like that. I'm going to move it to the viewport layer. And then now I have a viewport inside of a viewport, which actually I don't really want. So I'm going to adjust this and then I'm going to reinsert the other viewport. And so now I can just zoom in on here. And this doesn't have to be to scale. And so I have a little bit of flexibility as far as that goes. There we go. And then I could keep it like this, but I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to go back to layout and I'm going to do polygonal and create another viewport around this one. Because sometimes when you have a viewport inside of another viewport, it can be a little bit difficult to work with because maybe you're trying to select inside one, you're enter, and then you're also selecting inside the other. And so I'd rather just have them not overlap. And I'm going to change this to the viewport layer so that way I don't see the lines when I print it. And one more thing, I'm going to change the scale of these lines. Let's see here. Maybe, because it's pretty small, 0.1. I'll preview this. All right, and that looks pretty good. And if I want to adjust this, I can. So I can move this over a little bit. Let's say if I want to create some more space for this viewport, and then I can double click in here and I can adjust it too as I need to. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. And turn that off. And let's see what point to. So that actually looks pretty good there. All right, and so that is how you do the control arm. Of course, populate your title block and save it with the appropriate file name in the appropriate folder. All right, thank you. All right, and something I forgot to mention is you need to edit this slightly. So you have to double click in here and go ahead and use the arrow on your keyboard or click onto the side and do a 2x in a space here so that we know that there are 2 times this 0.55 diameter hole. There we go. Okay, thank you.